We got it. We finally got it. 1.5 mobile update is finally here. I'm so excited, and I bet you are too. After the mad dash to update your game so you actually get the content when you open up Stardew Valley, I bet you're wondering, what should I do first? Well, you came to the right place because that's exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm going to give you my take on exactly what I think you should focus on, what is the most fun, what is the longest content to get through so that you can be as efficient as possible, especially if you don't have a lot of time to play. I know sometimes we're all busy, but clear your schedule the best you can. You are going to need a lot of time to play Stardew in the next little while. The biggest thing added to this game, of course, is... Oh wait, before I get into it, I just want to give one quick spoiler alert, because if you are not looking to have some of the things explained to you and you want to play through yourself, you need to stop watching this right now and come back to this later. And then you can watch this to see if you missed anything. Okay, now that's out of the way. The biggest thing added to this game is indeed Ginger Island. So you need to get there as soon as possible, because there's a lot of things that you can do on Ginger Island that will actually translate into the valley when you get back, and there's some storylines that you're going to want to get started right away. So same as my preparation video, I'm going to throw this infographic again up here in case you missed it. So this is what you're going to need, plus 1,000 gold to get to the island. If you don't have all of those things yet, hustle up and get collecting, because this is going to be the key to the content that you're going to be looking for. Once you get to the island, here is where the real fun begins. So what you're going to want to do is start basically spending most of your time on the island, and you're going to be doing 3 key things. Number 1, you're going to hunt for golden coconuts, and by golden coconuts, I mean golden walnuts, but you're also looking for golden coconuts too. So let's get this straight. Golden coconuts are in the trees. There's palm trees now on this island. You can shake them. Some of them drop coconuts. Some of them drop golden coconuts. Both are important. Golden walnuts are hidden all over the island, and there's some amazing guides that are already on YouTube, so I'm not going to make a specific guide for that because it's going to be kind of redundant, and I wasn't a pro. I had to use a guide to find all the walnuts myself, so I'll leave it to the pros that made those guides. Or if you want a very quick way to get the information for where these are, you could go to the Stardew wiki, because it outlines with photos exactly where all the golden walnuts are. But I encourage you to kind of go around yourself and find them, because it is a really fun activity. I had a blast looking for them, so I know you will too. However, hunting them on your own without a guide doesn't mean that you get no help. If you go to the hut that is on the east of the island, where one of the new NPCs lives, and his name's Leo, if you talk to his parrot, the parrot will give you 1 hint per day of where you can find these walnuts. It is a ton of fun, so I really recommend that you spend some time just searching for the walnuts. However, you do need these to unlock a lot of features on the island, so if you just want to blast through it, then by all means, go ahead and use a guide and get that done. You aren't going to be able to get all the walnuts in one day, even with a guide, so you kind of do need to balance your time. And what I'm going to tell you next is what to do with the walnuts and what are the most important things to buy. That's where I faltered the first time. So learn from my mistakes, and then you can make the best decisions and use of your time possible. When you first arrive on the island, you're going to have a very limited access to the functionality of the island as well as some of the areas. So the first things you're going to want to do is unlock the other parts of the island. And the way you unlock all of the island functions is by trading your golden walnuts with the parrots that are stationed. So whichever parrot you give it to, that station is going to unlock. So as you can see here, I'm putting up another infographic, and I have reordered them from the Stardew wiki in the order that I think is most optimal to get the most out of the content the quickest. And the ones towards the end are kind of just nice bonuses, but I don't think they're essential. The farmhouse and the farm obelisk, I think those are, of course, because they're at the top of the list, the most important ones to focus on, because it's going to allow you to stay on the island longer. And especially when you get the obelisk, you can really get back and forth from the island to the town very quickly, and it will allow you to complete daily tasks in both places. Now, if you do have the magic wand that teleports you back to your farm already and you've invested in that, the farm obelisk is not as big of a deal. I personally did not have that yet. Where I really started to get a lot of gold was after the 1.5 update, so I definitely didn't have it yet. So if you do have it, you could probably go without the farm obelisk and just push that down a little bit further on the list. But I think that you can just make that decision based on where you're at in your game. The island trader is also really important as well. You might even want to unlock that before the island farmhouse so that you can start getting some of the items, because there is some trees that you can buy from the island trader, and we know that trees take forever to grow. So if you want to get that going, then I would actually bump that ahead of the farmhouse and the obelisk. But any of these three, I would say, are the best to unlock first. The rest of the list is pretty self-explanatory. There's just a couple points I want to mention just for clarity's sake. So the volcano bridge I put near the bottom because you can get to the bridge without it. You just have to bring your watering can. So I think that one is definitely not one that you should focus on unless you just want the ease of it. The volcano exit shortcut I do recommend because the cave is very long, and especially if you don't have the wand where you have to go back to the island by other means, you really can't afford to get trapped at the end of the day because you're going to get so many useful items in the dungeon that you're probably going to want to take that exit some of the times when you're only going to do a half run. I'm going to make a separate dungeon guide because it's one of my favorite additions to the 1.5 update, so more details on that in another video. The Island Resort and the Parrot Express, they're kind of cool, but I don't think that's what you should prioritize. The Island Resort will give you some cool interactions later, and it just looks awesome, but again, you don't really need it right away. But the sooner you can collect all the walnuts, the sooner you can unlock everything. So we're going to move on for this, but definitely focus on the golden walnuts because it's going to unlock a lot of things that you need to move things along. All right, now let's talk about the Island Trader in a little bit more detail. There's some cool things that you can get from the shop, but there's a couple things that I really think you should pay attention to, and that is the pineapple seeds because, well, A, they're just awesome, and they're a good thing to grow on the island because they keep producing fruit. So the sooner you can plant some of those, the better, especially if you use a seed maker, you can get pineapple seeds very quickly. Also, the banana and the mango saplings, you're going to want to get those as soon as possible. So the quickest way to get mussels is actually breaking the mussel nodes that you're going to find on the Ginger Island beach. As soon as you head into your island to the east, if you go straight down to the bottom, then that's where you'll find the mussel nodes. It doesn't take too long to collect them. The banana sapling, on the other hand, does take a while. I don't know if there's been an update since where it's made the dragon tooths a little bit more common to get, or if I just had very poor luck, but it took me forever to collect the dragon tooths. I swear it took me years, even though it didn't. So you're going to want to try to get the banana sapling as soon as possible. So while you are searching for the golden walnuts, you're probably going to want to make sure that you visit the mine every single day on Ginger Island to start collecting all the new and rare items that you can get, such as the dragon tooth, as I mentioned, and the cinder shards. Like I said, I am going to make a complete dungeon mine guide because there's so much to cover about the mine, but if you want to just explore in the meantime, just try to get through the cave all the way through at least once, because it will unlock something at the end, which I'll talk about in the other video. But it's very important to bring all your strongest gear, all your strongest supplies, such as food, coffee, all that stuff, and give yourself lots of time to complete it because it can be very challenging. I'm not a combat expert, so I had to really focus to complete the mine the first couple times, and yeah, long story short, just be prepared and get through it the best you can. So truly, the walnuts, the island trader, and the mines, those should be your main 3 focuses when you start playing this update, and it will naturally lead to all the other update in the 1.5 mobile patch. The other thing I just want to make sure that you are very certain that you do is that you save all the new items that you're finding, and make sure you don't sell them unless you want to sell one of each to start working on your updated shipping requirements where you have some new items to ship. Definitely do that, but try to save the majority. Make some new chests on the island because a lot of these items are going to come in handy. And so as you start doing the mine, or the cave, I guess I should call it. I've been calling it the mine this whole video, but it's a mine slash a cave. Once you start doing that and collecting the golden walnuts, you're going to come across all the other content that's going to go on with the island. So I'd love to hear from you. What other guides would you like me to make? I know there's probably some on YouTube already, but if you want to hear from me specifically on a topic, definitely post in the comments and I will definitely make the guides. I just don't want to make a bunch of redundant content, and I want to make things that are really useful for everybody to start working on this amazing Stardew update. And again, the cave slash mine guide is definitely coming, and it will include the ending of the cave, which is one of my favorite features that is added to the game, and it makes things so much better. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you at the next video.